What is going on, everybody? Johnny TCG with another video. Today we're going to play some games on the sim, trying to find out if Purple Luffy from OP05 has any sauce in OP07. Now, this was a leader that was pretty popular in OP05, did relatively well in some major events, but it really fell off in OP06. And so we're going to see with Sakazuki banned if there is any place for it in the OP07 meta. Now, for those that don't know, once the leader's ability is activate main once per turn, you may take the top card from your life, and if the amount of Dan on your field is 0 or 3 or more, then you get to add 1 Dan from your deck as active. So basically, you just get to ramp, and this deck is all about ramping quickly and then playing your big bodies so that your opponent cannot answer them as quickly as you're putting them out. This is a little bit of a makeshift list. I didn't net depth this or anything. I kind of just took my OP05 list, tried to tinker it a bit, and update it with some newer cards like Reiju and Sanji. So there might be better lists out there. I would love to hear in the comments below what suggestions you would make. The big thing about this deck, the MVPs, 9-drop Kaido, your 4-drop, or your 4-cost 6,000 power characters, page 1 and bins, because on your turn 2, if you go first, you're going to be at 3 Dan, you'll swing with leader, and then you'll use leader ability to get to 4 Dan and play one of these guys, and that is tough for your opponent to answer, these two guys for the most part. And then some spicy tech, Douglas Bullet. This card, nowadays it feels like it's hard for it to stay on the board, but when it does stay on the board, that next turn is going to be absolutely brutal for your opponent. Dan -4, rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less, and then this character gains double attack. If you can keep him on the board, you are going to be cooking. And then, of course, 9-drop Kaido, 10-drop Luffy. You're really going to be kind of going as quickly as possible to get to 8, 9, 10 Dan, play some of these big bodies out. Today we're going to be giving away a special Dan card. I got a custom Trafalgar Law Dan card for you. All you have to do is like and comment on the video, and if this video gets, let's say, 15 likes in the first 24 hours, I'll send it to one US-based commenter for absolutely free. I'm just making these myself. They're just a passion project. The production isn't 100% professional, but if you want some custom done, I've got you covered. They're not for sale, just giveaways. I do not own the artwork. Yada, yada, yada. That's enough yapping. Let's get straight into the gameplay. First up, we got a game against Perona. I decide to keep this hand. Usually, if I've got a good 4-cost 6,000 power character, I'll keep it. That's a good go-to turn 1 play. They're going to go out with Otama, draw the Momonosuke, and then play a Momonosuke. This is most likely the Wano Perona, where they're going to use You Can Be My Samurai and rest both of their searchers and draw 2. 5,000 at me. I decide to take this. I get the Poly. Then they're going to rest bins and hit it with the Ryuma. That is pretty tragic. Now, I am happy with the Poly play. That's pretty epic. I get to pop that Ryuma right away, not have to deal with its on KO effect. I'm down to 2 life, but I've been able to pressure them a little bit as well. They're going to Tsuru into resting Poly, into Ryuma. Now that is tragic, but it is not the end of the world. I've got some counter. Now I'm already at 10 Dan, and I can either Gear 5 Luffy or I can Kaido. I decide to Kaido and be able to pop that Ryuma. That'll take a lot of pressure off of my life. Now I'll just go 6 into Momonosuke. Don't want them to get a bunch of free searches. Hit them with Kaido and they take. Now they're down to 1 life card. They do have a ton of cards in hand, so maybe next turn I hit them with the Law. That would be pretty great. I'm expecting to see maybe a Kaido or a Sabo here. They do the You Can Be My Samurai, draw 2 cards, and then play Borsellino and swing 8,000 at me. I can get out of this. I'm debating if I should or not. I decide not to counter out of it. And then I'm debating whether or not to trigger this double finger, just another body to swing with, but I decide to keep it. Never mind having a 2K in hand. So there, I miscounted, and I thought I was playing down that Sanji for 3 Dawn, so that is unfortunate. I was going to go Sanji and Trafalgar Law, so silly me, but I've still got a 6 cost blocker on board. They take the Kaido hit, which surprised me. I wonder if they're going to have a way to get rid of both of these characters. They start out with Ice Age, and minusing that Kaido by 5, so it is likely they do have an answer. They're going to go Gecko into Otama and Ryuma. The Ryuma pops my Kaido, but that Sanji stayed alive. And they're going to get the 2K Izo off the Otama search. And 6,000 at me. I can give them a 2K here. I could rest and block 1, which is what I'll do. I have an extra kid, might as well just do that. And now I can be crazy. I could do Gear 5 Luffy. They got a ton of cards in hand, but only 1 blocker. So I'm kind of tempted to do that. I think a safer play is just to go with the Law. I get the Otama 2K and the Sabo secret rare from OP07. That was a great hit. And then I can also play a Sanji as well. So now I'm really just kind of hunkering down between some big blockers. I'm going to try to get some cards out of hand. And then when the moment is right, play the Gear 5 Luffy. I just got to get more cards out of their hand. Because if I did that last turn, they probably would have been able to survive. 9,000 at me with Gecko. I'll block with Law. 6,000 with Ryuma. I can 2K out of this. I could have also blocked with Sanji and then given him the page 1. They're going to use leader ability to -1 from Sanji. I do need to be careful here that you can be my samurai. This tells me they're really looking for answers. And then they're going to play the Stussy, get rid of one of the Sanjis, but the other one stays alive. I'm going to be aggressive here. Let's go 6 with the Sanji. They give me 2 cards out of hand. This is maybe a little bit too aggressive than much more aggressive than I normally am, but let's do it. Leroy Jenkins. 6,000. I should cut that. 6,000 at lead. They give me a bunch of counters. We are in a great position here. I'll just swing with my leader for 9. They have to either take this or block, and now Gear 5 Luffy. That is GG's. Next up, we got a game against Red Purple Law, the likely most popular deck in OP07. So I hope you are ready to play it a lot. Unless you are running the deck yourself. And if that's the case, I hate you. Just kidding. I do not hate Red Purple Law. I don't think this matchup is impossible. My turn 2, I'm just going to play the bins. 4 cost 6,000. You love it on turn 1, and I'll pass. They're going to swing 5 at me. I do have a lot of counter in hand, so I'll give them 1K. Going to try to protect my life a little bit in the beginning so that I can ramp. I'll start with 6,000 from bins. They counter out of that with a 2K. I'm a little surprised by that. And then I'm actually able to poly the Ein and ramp another one. I'm gonna swing 6 now. They give me another 2K. When you can see that poly on turn 3, it can really change the tempo. Get rid of one of your opponent's characters. Ramps you a Dawn as well. Next turn, I can already play 9-drop Kaido. And I do got a fair amount of counter in my hand, which is going to be huge in this matchup. I don't want to go down to 2 life because that Kid and Killer will be there and ready to punish me. 5,000 with lead. I'm thinking I give them the page 1. Counter out of that. What are they going to do with 7 Don? Maybe a 4-drop and a 3-drop. Maybe 7 cost ace. You don't really see that much anymore in red purple law decks, but you never know. They're going to go with Shariah and Ein. That gives them a rest of Don. They have a ton of Don on their field right now. Not surprisingly, they're going to use their effect and play out the blocker Sanji. That is an absolutely great card in the red purple law deck. When you're at, I believe it's 2 or less Don than your opponent, that character is on the cost is only 3, which is an amazing effect for purple decks. 6,000 with Paulie goes through. No trigger. Now I'm deciding if I should swing with Bins first, or then maybe just play the 9-drop Kaido. I'm gonna swing 6. I'm hoping that they don't give me the Sanji, but it doesn't really matter that much. I'll be able to pop one of their characters anyway. They take that hit as well. I'm not sure what the deal is. I just feel like these hits have been going through pretty easily. I'm going to play the 9-drop Kaido. Then I'm going to swing not 10 into lead. I imagine they block this. They take it. And now it's time for 6 into lead. And they block and counter with Shariah. Now, I'm actually not 100% safe here. Yeah, I do have a bunch of counter in hand, but they could pull out a bunch of rushers out of nowhere. There's the 3-cost Sanji rush, 3-cost Zoro rusher, there's Kid and Killer. They're going to go 7 at me. I'm debating on whether or not I need to counter out of this, and just to be safe, I will. I think this game is over after this turn. There's no way that they'll be able to survive if they can't destroy my board. They've got 5 Don still up. We could see Queen. We could see use this Kid blocker, and they're going to go with the Queen. They're trashing the Ein. They probably are just looking to get as much counter as possible. Then they're going to leader ability and play out. I wonder who they're going to play out. Another Shariah. So now they got 3 blockers to sit behind. That is pretty great for them. But we'll find a way. I've got 8 Don to work with. I could block her up myself and maybe play a little bit defensively, but I want to go for game here. So I'm thinking I play out the 6-cost King from starter deck 4, pop a Shariah, and then I just start swinging at lead. I'll go 7. Should I go 7 into the Ein? And just really... I go 7 into the Ein just to be safe. I feel like there's no way they don't give that to me. And I'd rather just wait a little bit, another turn for my likely victory. I almost go 10 first with Kaido, but then I decide to give 1 to Luffy and swing 6. They are going to be able to counter out of that, but now it's time for the Kaido swing, and they probably will have to block. They do block, and now I pass it. They do not have much Don left. I've got a full board. I don't see this game lasting longer than my next turn. They're going to go 7 into lead. I can get out of this, but I don't think it really matters. I'm just gonna take it. And I do even get the Gum Gum Jet Gatling, so now I'm feeling really safe. They're gonna go 8 at me, 1 Don left up. I'm debating on whether or not I should block out of this. I decide just to take it and just kind of tempt them to go for game. They don't really have a choice. Kid and Killer, 8,000 at me. I've got more counter than I need, and I'll be able to counter out of that. And they are just going to concede. GG's. That one surprised me. Does Purple Luffy low-key have a positive matchup against Law? Next up, we got a game against Enel. Now, I joked about Red Purple Law being one of my least favorite decks to play against, but it is really Enel that I hate playing against the most. My opponent chooses turn order, and they're going to choose to go second. That's fine with me. I'll go first. I decided to keep my hand. Not a lot of counter, so maybe it was a little bit risky, but we're going to run with it. Their first turn, they play the Charlotte Flambe, draw a card from life, and draw another card. I am going to play down page 1, and that's it. I'm not going to attack this turn. I'm kind of trying out a new strategy against Enel. A lot of their big characters like Ace and Yamato thrive when they're at low life, so I'm thinking maybe I wait until I have a little bit more of a board before I start swinging. They play down the Frankie. The Egghead Frankie is an amazing card to get off of the trigger, and so I just take another life and play down Polly and pop the Frankie. They didn't attack my life last turn, so they're trying to maybe starve me out a little bit and play down a Gadatsu. Against Purple Luffy, I don't know if that's the best idea because I'm just going to take the life myself. They're going to hard play Shirahoshi, trash 2 Gadatsus, and then deploy another Charlotte Flambe. And then they're going to start swinging at me. They're going to go 5. I decide to just give them a 1k. I want to protect my life a little bit. I don't want to go down too low. I am thinking I can put a little bit pressure on here, but I don't really want them to take these hits. I'm kind of hoping maybe they just give me 1k counter right here. I'm probably not even going to swing with my characters. They'll only be at 8 down next turn, so it doesn't really matter if they are down to 1 life. I'm going to go with the use this Captain Kid and then play the ulti in the page 1 combo, which is absolutely diabolical. Now I have a full board. I'm going to swing 8 with Polly, which I imagine they'll take this. They could Katakuri and put Shirahoshi back to the top of their life, but I'm feeling like I'm in a great position for once against an Enel. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my play so far. They're going to Raigo away the Eustace Captain Kid. That is fine. I'd rather them waste the Raigo on him than a stronger character. They're going to swing 7 into Polly, and I do luckily have the 2k. I draw another 2k, which is great. I can kind of push for game a little bit here. I'm just going to do some small swings, make them give me cards out of their hand. I'm not really... If I can go for game, great, but also I just really want to get cards out of their hand right now. I'm not 100% sure yet if I'm going to play the 10-drop Luffy. Playing that when I have a full board feels so bad, so I think I might just play down the 6-cost King. And this has been great. They're leaving themselves at 1 life and just giving me cards out of hand. Bringing them down to 3 cards in hand this turn is awesome. I can play the King, and so... But I also could just play Gear 5 Luffy and not use the effect. I think I'll go King. I should have just used the effect and KO'd one of the Flambes. It doesn't really matter, though. I'm in a great position right now. They're going to give 1 down to Leader and swing 6 into ulti. Luckily, I have a 2k to save it. They'll probably play Yamato with the 9 down and pop something, but yeah, I'll give them a 2k. I'm going to need all these swings next turn. Unless something crazy happens, it should be GG's. Thinking about who I should start my swings with. It really should start with ulti, so I'm going to do that. 5,000. Let's see how much counter they have in hand and if they can get any triggers. 6,000 now with Pauly. They use a zero cost event. You're the one who should disappear. Counter out of it. Now 6,000 with page 1. They take it. Maybe they have a beige. They don't. Now King. I can. So right now I'm thinking, does it even matter if I play Gear 5? If I just don up on King and Luffy, the result is probably the same. But I don't want to do that because, oh, I guess I do go with that strategy. But I think in hindsight this is wrong because if they were gonna get a beige right now, it would be, I wouldn't be able to win that turn. Granted, I'd still probably be able to win. I would just play down Law. But that was me being a little cheeky, I think. So we get game 1. I'm feeling pretty good. No great turn 1 plays with this hand, but I do have a ton of counter. The second hand, I'm not sure if it's much better. It actually kind of is much worse. I do have a lot of counter, and I do have my top end, but where is a Bins or a page 1 when you need them? They are not going to do what they did last time, and they are immediately going to pressure me. And the universe answered my requests, and I got a Bins and a page 1. I'm going to ramp a little bit, and actually debating between playing Magellan and Law. I'm going to go Magellan and try to throw them off their curve and see how this works out for me. Now they're only at 4 done. Can't play a Gadatsu. They're just going to go 9 at me. I get the Gum Gum Jet Gatling. I use the trigger, and now I get to ramp it on for free. Now I'm at 7. They are at 4. That is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to start applying a little bit of pressure. I will likely play the Law here and get some cards out of hand. No trigger. Maybe that's why I've done so well in these games. It's because they just gotten unlucky with the triggers. Now I play the Law. Get 2 cards out of hand. I got out a Raigo and a Katakuri. Those are absolutely great cards to get out of hand. I'm going to use Leader Effect again and play out the Bins, which is a little spicy of me, you know? I'm willing to go down to 1 life. Right now they're only going to be at 6 Dawn, so they don't have many options. They could do a Raigo. Get rid of one of my characters. They're just gonna go 6 at me with Leader. I think I should just 2K out of this. For 5 Dawn, maybe they go Starter Deck 13 Ace. I don't know why I would counter it with that Sanji when I should have just countered with the Miss Doublefinger. 5 Dawn, they're just gonna hard play the Shirahoshi. I'm not sure what's going on, but I can't imagine playing hard playing Shirahoshis from your hand 2 games in a row is ideal. I'm not sure though, I'm not an Enel player, so any Enel players, let me know in the chat what you think. They trash a Katakuri, they trash a Lin. They are just probably trying to stockpile some counter. And now we have some options. We could pressure life a little bit. They are only going to be at 8 Dawn next turn. I'm at 9 Dawn. I think that Kaido might be the move, just to get rid of that Shirahoshi, because if they get a Katakuri, if they have one in their hand, they would probably love to just throw the Shirahoshi back into their life. I'm going to go 5 with Leader, which is a little bit risky. I'm not sure if they play Onami or the new OP07 Luffy. But moral of the story is I am putting my characters at risk with this swing if they let it go through. They're debating on whether or not to take it or not. I imagine they do have the counter for it. And they give me the 1K. Now I'm going to swing with Magellan. Let's see if they got a 2K for me or if they take it. They do take it, no trigger. I will probably leave them at 1 life, and I'm actually going to go Kid and page 1. I've got a couple different top-end options, like Kaido, Gear 5 Luffy, or even Douglas Bullet, the spicy tech. But it seems like going in this matchup, you just want to go wide. So that's what I'm doing. If they want to try to get rid of the Magellan, they're going to lose Don, so... And I have plenty of counter in hand. I'm feeling really confident right now. My theory was right. They do play the Katakuri and throw the Shirahoshi back on top. They don't even bother swinging because I would have just had a free block with Eustace Kid. And now I have to decide how I want to go about closing this game. I'll start out with 6 from page 1, and they give me a 2K counter. Now 6K from Bins. I decide I should just go 5 with lead because I know what their trigger is, and their trigger won't harm any of my characters. They give me the 2K. That is a great sign. They certainly would have given me a 1K if they could have. Now I'm going to go 6 with Magellan. They get the Shirahoshi trigger as expected. They're going to draw 3 and trash 2. They trash a Charlotte Linlin. And I imagine they'll trash another card with no counter. And another Charlotte Linlin. Dang, they had 30. Or they had 2. And just that hand. I'll go 6 with Bins. They give me the 2K. Now I do need to be a little bit careful here because I only have 1 life left. And while I do have counter, I do not want to leave myself so vulnerable that I end up dying this next turn on the clapback because I won't be able to go for game. I'm debating on what to play and what maybe effects to use. I think I'm just I could go Gear 5 Luffy and not use the on-play effect. I could go Douglas Bullet. I had a lot of different options, but I just go with the Luffy. If they want to Raigo it away, so be it, but I still have a full board. Not using its effect, it was great because now I can play the 9-drop Rush Kaido next turn, and I can't imagine they'll be able to survive an almost full board, a leader swing, and then the Gear 5 Luffy and a Rush Kaido. We'll see though. Crazier things have happened. They do hit 10 Don. They can play the 10 cost Ace. They're going to go 8,000 into Bins with Katakuri. And I could counter out of this. And I think I do. It's a little bit... It's not risky. Because if they want to play the 10 cost Ace, go for it. I would have been able to counter out of the leader swing. I won't be able to counter out of this. They're going to go 9. I'm just going to take it, let Bins die. They've got 6 down to work with, and they Raigo away my Luffy as expected. I do have a lot of characters still on board, though. But now I am feeling a little bit of the pressure because I do not have a lot of counter in hand, so I need to make sure my moves are very precise. They're going to 2K out of my 6,000 Magellan swing. I'm going to give 6K to Luffy and see if they got a 2K for this swing. They do. And now for 9, I'll play Rush Kaido. Then I'm going to return 5 Don. I get 1 ramped for Eustace Captain Kid's ability. And I'm going to go 11 into Katakuri. If they give me this, it will likely be game. If they didn't give me this, it'll be really awkward. And they actually are able to counter out of it, and I'm like, shit. So now I'm kind of just hoping for the best. 200 million volts Amaru would be able to rest my Law, which would be problematic. They're going to swing 12,000 at the Kaido. That tells me no 10 drop Ace, thankfully, is coming. They've got 6 down up, maybe for a Raigo. I'm debating on whether or not I want to block out of this because I'm thinking, what else could they possibly play? I decided to just block with the Law, might as well. Now they're going to go 9 into Magellan. It doesn't really matter if it's Magellan or blocking with Kid. If anything, I'd rather have the Kid survive for Don minusing abilities. And then they're going to play the Shirahoshi blocker. Now, that could be an issue, but I have just the card to deal with it. I have the 8-drop Douglas Bullet, this spicy tech just for this moment right here. I am going to play it out, and then I can use its ability to arrest it. Now, I need to really hope that they don't have a 2K right now, and that they don't get a crazy trigger off life. So I'm debating, who do I swing first with? Do I use leader ability at all? I'm just going to go 5 in the lead with Luffy. The fact that they don't block it tells me that they probably don't have counter. They do leader ability and they trash a Yamato, so I'm imagining that was the one card they had in hand. Now the moment of truth. Should I swing with Eustace Captain Kidd? Why I'm keeping one down up, I don't know, so I'm going to throw that extra one on there. So this should hit, but if they get a beige trigger, it is all over for me. They do get the Frankie trigger, but that thankfully will not change destiny. Being able to win that one was huge. They say GG's. I try to say GG's back, but I was too late. Let's take a look at the deck list I was running with. Honestly, it's a little janky. I didn't really get this exact deck list from anywhere online. I just kind of used my OP5 list and tried to update it a little bit. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether or not you think this deck list is any good. I would love to hear some suggestions. Purple Luffy isn't really my favorite leader, but maybe I just need to practice with it more. I would love some tips or tricks and any suggestions you have of maybe playing the deck better or cards that I should think about putting in it. We didn't see in this today's games, but the Douglas Bullet, if that can get on board and stick and survive for the next turn to be able to swing resting 2 characters and double attack, that card can be absolutely crazy. But we didn't really see it at its full potential today. Those are all the games I got for you. If you want to win the Don, don't forget to like and comment. Support has been amazing so far. I am trying to bring content from a variety of leaders. Let me know who you want to see next. I love you. Good night.